Hi and welcome to the Arsenal Circle. Here to talk to you today about the latest game between Arsenal and Brighton, the last game of the year in the Premier League, Arsenal's last game of the year in the Premier League, and a really, really good game. Very nervous towards the end. I'm going to break it down for you today, but let's start off with the lineup now. Our lineup was unchanged apart from Zinchenko, who came in for Tierney at left back. Good to see him back. Very nice to see him back, and he had a really good game. We'll get onto that in a minute, though. One thing I did want to mention was I was surprised that Smith Rowe wasn't on the bench. Maybe he's not back to fitness, but he was in training, and I'd like to see him come on off of the bench. Maybe they'll save that for Newcastle at home so he can get a standing ovation, but I don't know yet. Anyway, let's talk about the match, because the first 15 minutes of this match, we were in absolute control. We really looked like we could have scored two or three. We did only get one, though, at the start, and it was a Bukayo Saka goal in the second minute, and a really, really good composed touch from him, and he slides it past the keeper. Good goal, and another one added to his rally, taking him up to 6 now, I believe. And then later on, Brighton took a bit of control around the 20th minute and kind of had more possession, but, we were still clearly the better team, and we waited out just long enough for Odegaard's fluky goal and his basketball celebration, and that put him, gave him his 7th goal, and he is now our top goal scorer. And by the way, while we're on the topic of Martin Odegaard, what a performance he had today. It was really, really brilliant. A golden assist for him. Footmob have given him man of the match, and I totally agree with that. He was really, really solid. And 2 games in a row where Martin Odegaard, I just look at him and I'm thinking, wow, what a player he is. And he's been really good all season. 30 million is a bargain. I am so glad we managed to get him last summer on a permanent. He's just a really incredible player, and I'm really enjoying him at Arsenal. And yeah, we were just able to see out the rest of the half. Apart from that, who else were the standout performers? And then I'm going to go on to the second half. Now, Gabriel Martinelli played a really good game, really important role on the left-hand side of the pitch, as did Saka on the right-hand side. And he got his goal. I think it was a bit greedy, though. He should have passed the ball to Saka in that scenario. Got quite lucky with his goal going in. And I think Saka was the clear option there. But you know what? I'm not going to moan about it, because he did score the goal, and it was a good goal, and the run was good, and it was right as Brighton were pushing pressure on from their first goal, to get another, and we shut that down with that goal. The Martinelli goal shut it down, although it didn't. We will get onto that. Temporarily, it shut it down. One thing I did want to mention, however, is I don't think Ramsdale had that great of a game, and similarly with Saliba and Gabriel. I just think Ramsdale's kicking was a bit off in the first half. Usually he's a lot better with his distribution. And in the second half, I just think we switched off defensively. I mean, both of our fullbacks came off, which may have affected it, but the goals we let in and the offside goal we let in were just, the gap was too wide. I don't know why. And there was just holes in our defence, and Saliba really should have done better for the second goal. He really should have. I don't know what he was doing, but again, it's William Saliba, and he's consistently brilliant all of the time. One bad performance is not gonna tarnish his reputation at Arsenal. And he still played a good game. I think Gabriel made a couple sloppy tackles towards the second half, which I'll go into in a minute. But yeah, no, let's go on to the second half, because it started off very well. Nketiah goal, and a nice one at that. Martinelli's done most of the work, sliced it across. Not sliced it across, he had a shot, saved, and Nketiah slots it home. And then, pretty kind of boring half up until this goal here. Mitoma scores an assist from Pascal Gross, and it was a pretty good goal, but again, it was just a hole in our defence, and I don't know what to make of it. I don't think we should have had that hole there, but we responded very well with that Martinelli goal, which I've talked about, and of course another goal which I've talked about, the Saliba goal. But the thing I want to highlight now is I want to talk about this offside goal, because Ooh, if that goal stood, it would have been a nervy 6 minutes of added time. And it was anyway. I want to give a huge props to Brighton for their performance because they really kept us on ropes. You didn't know what was going to happen till the end of the match. They switched it on in that second half. And I think that's mainly down to their manager. So big props to De Zerbi. And, you know, most of the Brighton team as well. Matoma played a pretty good game. I think Lamptey, even though he's been discredited here because Martinelli did kind of, you know, violate for a bit. But Lamptey did also play his role at certain points in the match. I think Trossard was very threatening. You know, a lot of the Brighton performance wasn't that bad. Gross had a good game. And I think they'll be happy with their performance come the end of the match, even though they lost 4-2. But they're gonna, thing is for Brighton, they're gonna think they could have got something out of that, and that's, you know, that's good because we are for them. That's good because we are the league leaders. So if you feel like you should have got some points off the league leaders, you gotta be doing something right. But there's things to work on, of course. But anyway, Arsenal fan. We're talking about Arsenal. Yeah. Other performances that I thought were very solid today is Partey, and underrated one was Xhaka. He was controlling the midfield quite a bit, and Zinchenko, back from injury, he played really well today. Really happy with his performance. Ben White didn't really do much. Nketiah, again, didn't do all that, but he did his job, which was important. And substitutes Tierney, Tomiyasu, and El Neni were all solid, respectively. Obviously, Rob Holding came on for a couple minutes. Can't really talk about that one. He solidified the victory. And, yeah, apart from that, it was just quite a solid game. Really shouldn't have let in those 2 goals, though. I imagine Mikel Arteta will be furious about that. And that's, you know, again, that's goal difference that might be important come the end of the season. Speaking of the season, we are now first heading into the new year, 7 points clear of Manchester City because they dropped points today to Everton, and Newcastle dropped points today to Leeds. We have Newcastle next. So if we are able to get a victory against Newcastle on the 3rd of January, I believe it is, that would be a big result, and that would be a big boost in the title race because we got Spurs after that. We got some very difficult fixtures coming up in January and February, and it's going to be the real crunch point in our season. And I think this is going to give us some momentum. We just got to keep looking forward now, and hope we can get some good January signings in. I hope you all have a great new year, and you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you thought about the match down below. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and goodbye.